1 in 5 teens says social media has a mostly negative effect, with more than a quarter citing bullying.
Social media is a great tool. However, it's not all fun and games for children and presents real danger.
Children have been participating in dangerous and potentially fatal stunts online.
No such thing as absolute privacy when it comes to the things that we share online.
In 2021, social media has become completely ingrained in our daily lives. Many cannot go an hour without picking up their phone. The ringing in the phone releases dopamine to our system that makes us more addicted. But how is that hurting us? Over 223 million Americans have social media accounts as of 2019. They're accessible to anyone at the touch of a screen. Bullying has become anonymous and even more deadly.
We would like the President and new Congress to address our security and protection on social media in this day and age. Many high school and middle school students have been negatively affected by social media in one way or another.
These platforms are designed to be addictive, especially to children and teens. We're facing a growing set of problems like negative impacts on mental health, cyberbullying, and even a rise in human trafficking.
I think the toxic part is it's not real. People just post this idea of what their life is or what people think their life is. Why is it so addicting? I don't know. Maybe it's a fantasy world that we live in.
When we're thinking about more sophisticated filtering technologies, there are a lot of different technical capabilities that exist now that were just only a dream in the late 90s. But the risks of overbreadth, of under-inclusion, of your filter not working particularly well, and those errors really bearing out in ways that have significant impacts for people's free expression rights, all of that still obtains.
Senator Don Tester talks about the importance of safety on social media, along with what the government's doing to protect us.
Social media can be a powerful tool, but can also be very dangerous, which is why Congress has been debating about the best way to regulate it for years. But the truth of the matter is, we need to find a bipartisan solution that will hold large internet companies accountable, protect folks' civil liberty, and ensure our national security without changing the foundation of the internet as we know it.
One of the great things about the internet is it has opened up a platform for people to speak to a broad audience. You have access to thousands of documents, so it's opened up a lot of good resources for us, easily accessible, but it's opened up a lot of bad junk as well.
And politics is often kind of the early adapter here, because politicians are basically kind of running media organizations. They're obsessed with media, they're obsessed with their image, of course. They kind of live through the media, so they tend to be on the front edge of these things. So much of politics is commenting, is making statements, is engaging in stuff. And by the 2012 campaign, it was sort of the central space in which the action of politics was actually sort of happening.
We have identified all parts of the internet community and tried to mobilize them to participate in this broad discussion that affects all of us, and we all have a stake in the outcome.
Everything's connected so well. So really, I'm just going to say nothing is safe these days. It's only going to be dependent upon the person and how much they want to make sure that they're safe and that they're really paying attention to what's coming through, and then also what they're going out onto.
The average American has spent over 1,130 hours on social media this year alone. That gives time for major search engines to learn our interests and our online behavior.
So if you have security software, whether it's McAfee or any of the other software companies that provide it, when they say it's out of date or time to renew, you need to renew it. And that is the absolute best way, is to be safe on the front end and keep your security software absolutely up to date.
They're protecting us in the sense that it shows you connecting to something from a spot that you are not in reality. Does that fully protect you? Not necessarily. If somebody is able to get your information from the VPN provider or figure out the endpoint where you're coming out at, that can easily be traced back to you still.
We have gone a long way to raise public awareness of the safety challenges we need to address, of the need for parents, educators, and others to play a role in their children's online experience, and to use the tools that are necessary and are now available to help them.
That's why it is critical that parents and guardians have conversations with their kids about safe social media usage and limiting screen time, and why young folks should be asking their teachers, librarians, and other adults how to ensure the information they find online is actually factual, and why young folks shouldn't hesitate to talk to a trusted adult whenever they see something fishy online, on the internet, or contacted by someone that they do not know.
People deserve to know what is at risk before logging on, whether that is their personal information or the informational gain that our brains intake. That leaves Americans with the question, is social media safe?
Hello, Samantha and Rilee, and I want to thank you for inviting me to speak about the dangers of social media.
So, social media, do you have one personally?
Yes, I have multiple accounts. They're not all under the same name, but they're all my accounts.
Thank you again for looking into this important issue, and good luck in the competition.
Or I'll be like, should I do that?